Hello there my friends, it's Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And today I'm going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 10, Episode 6, Read Between the Signs. Very quickly, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit that like button if you've enjoyed the video, and the likes really do make a difference to my YouTube analytics. So without further ado, let's get down to it. So the first housewife we see on this episode is Garcelle, and she's meeting up with her friends. She describes these friends as her core friends, and I think core is code for real, unlike the rest of the housewives. And there's Will Smith's ex-wife there and a couple of other single girls. And Garcelle lets her know that she too has dated Will Smith. And I can't help but think this is a little bit contrived. Garcelle, you must have mentioned this before. Come on now, it's not as if Will Smith isn't noteworthy. And Garcelle explains the importance of these friends because these were the girls that were really there for her when she got her divorce. And they were no doubt recipients of the poison email that Garcelle sent. And they're all sitting there having drinks and chit-chatting in the sunshine, and Garcelle explains there are two types of men in Hollywood. She said the bad boy and then the insecure boy. Oh Garcelle, you've forgotten the sexual predators. They're the ones you've really got to have your eye on. And next up we go and see Kyle, and she's hanging around with her friends too. And these are the only friends she's got that don't challenge her authority. And she's in the garden talking on the phone to Erika. And Erika says she's never ever seen Denise that angry. And Kyle says, I don't know who the real Denise is. If I knew where all that anger came from, it would make sense. Kyle, Denise has already told you, you talk over the top of her, you talk at her, you don't let her speak. And when anybody disagrees with them, you tell them to F off and call them assholes. And you also told Denise that she was fake AF, forgetting glammed up, forgetting that Denise used to be a model and has spent the last 30 years being a film star, walking up and down red carpets. If you bothered to listen to her, you'd know exactly where her anger has come from. And Erika tells Carl that she apologised immediately over the threesome comment. And she said, I don't know why she brought it up again. And I actually think she brought it up again because Erika, even though she apologised, she then kept on making flippant comments about it. They know what we're talking about, or they've heard worse. You're right, Erika. Apologising and then retracting it with everything you say and everything you do thereafter is no reason to keep on repeating why you're upset. And as if to prove my point, Erika said she is the one who talked about happy endings. And Carl said 1 minute she's oversharing and the next minute she's Mother Teresa. She's trying to act holier than thou. Kyle, Erika, when she was talking about her and Aaron, her children weren't present. Erika, in front of her children, you shouted out, there's 2 vaginas and 1 penis. Kyle, if Portia was sitting there, would you have been happy? Ask yourself that question. I think we know the answer to that. No, you wouldn't. Nobody's going to want to talk about threesomes in front of their children. And both of these ladies understand this very well, but yet they're trying to act as if, I don't understand. You do understand. You understand all too well. And whilst I can't work out with Kyle if she's being deliberately stupid or if she actually is stupid, I know very well that Erika is very intelligent. Erika's being willfully ignorant. And next up we see Denise, and she's at home and she tells us her daughter's going to the prom this year with a date. Oh Denise, she went with a date last year. You just didn't want to admit it. So her daughter's getting her hair dyed pink, and Denise brings over a top hairdresser to do her hair. Just who does Denise think she is? And the Ebird thinks she's only doing it so she can keep up with Kyle. That's her idol. So they're looking over different dresses that her daughter's ordered, and Denise doesn't want her to wear a revealing dress. But her daughter tells her, no, it's fine, Mum. I've read the reviews. What? What are reviews going to say? Whatever you do, don't bend over. 100% rack enhancement. Guys, I'd honestly love to see these reviews. And then we go off to see Erika, and she's going off to dance practice for her role as Roxy in Chicago. And she meets up with a dance trainer, and you can tell he's super excited to see her. And I thought, ooh, maybe we'll have a little scandal on our hands here. But then I notice he's wearing nail varnish. Erika tells us she's got to focus properly, and she said, it's going to be such a pressure on me not to let my cast down. Your cast? Right, we know you're going to be the lead, but these are trained professionals. And at some point, all of these housewives do this. They say, my cast or my fashion label, and they want to display to us that possession. It's my cast, it's my fashion label. Instead of, it's the cast or it's our fashion label. And I know it's kind of a tiny thing, but it says, I think, quite a lot about a person. But I gotta tell you, she's got the dancing down pat. And in terms of standard, guys, I couldn't tell the difference between her and the trainer. So I kind of think the dancing is going to be fine. And then we come to Dorit. and Dorit is over having a meeting with Robert Earl because she's designing a room in his Italian restaurant. And so guys, I decided to look up Robert Earl and yeah, he's got a penny or two. Even if her and PK decide to rip him off, I don't think he'll be eating cold beans out of a can anytime soon. And just as she's sitting down with Robert, PK walks in. "All right, baby." And she's like, "Oh, PK, oh my God, I've missed you so much." And Robert looks just slightly bored with all of this. And he tells Dorit, "I want a real commitment from you." And Dorit said, "And I think my husband will back me up on this. I always give 120% to any project I'm doing." Does that include ripping people off? And then Dorit decided to set herself up. She said to Robert, "What score would you give me out of 10 on my commitment so far?" And he finally settled on the figure of 3 out of 10. Oh dear, oh dear. Dorit, simple maths dictates it needs to be 12 in order for you to be giving 120%. But as we know, figures aren't your strong point. And PK said, "How's Lisa Vanderpump? Does she know what we're doing?" And Robert said, "Well, I haven't mentioned it." And I think that's his low-key way of saying, she's not sitting in her meetings talking about you two, so why are we in this meeting talking about her? She's no longer interested. "I'm not trying to compete with Lisa. It's just as well, Dorit, because you're decorating one room. Lisa owns about 4 or 5 different restaurants and bars. There's no competition." So now it's time for the moment of truth. Or a moment of made-up sweeping generalisations, depending on where you stand, because it's the night that they're all going to have their charts read. And Kyle's getting ready at home. She asks Maurizio, "Is this skirt too short?" Kyle, how would he know? He's high as a kite. And Erika's at home with Tom getting ready. And Erika tells Tom, "You're going to meet Sutton and Garcelle for the first time tonight." "Oh, Erika." Tom doesn't care. He's only interested in Lisa Vanderpump. That's the only one who he believed was his intellectual equal. And guys, between you and me, I remember how they were talking to each other, and at the time I could see a look of envy on Erika's face, because Tom generally revered Lisa, and they're both witty raconteurs. And I low-key think that's why Erika never really liked Vanderpump, and when she saw the opportunity, she banded with the other girls and decided to strike. So the other girls begin to arrive, and Erika, Garcelle and Lisa Rinna are all wearing the same hot pink oversized jacket. They can't believe it, and they all scream for what seems like an eternity. And they all get settled down to go and meet Tom, and ever the raconteur, he regales them with Hollywood stories. He tells us he actually went to school with John Wayne, and it virtually seems like it's some sort of joke. How could somebody who's still compos mentis be old enough to remember John Wayne? And I keep waiting for the punchline. And Kyle, well, she couldn't wait to boast about the age of her property, so she asked Tom how old his house was. "Kyle, you're so transparent." And when Tom finally leaves, the girls all say that they approve of Tom, and to be fair, I really like Tom as well. He seems to have kind of a cheeky little glint in his eye, and he seems to be still quite fun, and he really sits and listens to what everybody has to say. And you know what the Ebird's like? I'd find it so much fun to say, yeah, we all see what Erika sees in Tom. And although we know that Erika's been mining for precious metals, I totally get what she sees in him. So Sean, the astrology guy, finally arrives, and they all get settled round the table. Nobody wants to go first, so Erika says, "Well, I'll go." So apparently she's got a Cancer sun, and that means she's very emotional. Is she? And she's got an Aquarius moon, and this means she's very logical. She always sticks to the facts. Well, I have to say she is quite logical, but she's as sure as hell being completely illogical with Denise right now. She's refusing to see the difference between talking about smut with your friends and talking about smut when your kids can hear. She says, "Okay, right, I'm out." And it's almost like she didn't want him to say anything else. And next up is Kyle. Her sun sign is Capricorn with a Leo moon. And he tells her, "Unfair treatment gets on your nerves. You like everyone to be treated fairly." It's such an asinine statement. Everybody, allegedly, dislikes unfair treatment. It just all depends what you define as fair or unfair. Kyle thinks her treatment of Lisa Vanderpump was fair. I do not. And apparently Denise is complicated, and all the girls look at each other knowingly. She's got an Aquarius sun and a Scorpio moon, so that shows that she's very loving, but there's a hidden side of her. She's got the most to reveal. If trust is broken, you conspire against people and you want to even the score. And Denise says, "I've never ever plotted revenge in my life. Yet." Next up is Lisa Rinna, and she's a Cancer with a Virgo moon. And apparently everybody knows where they stand, and she can't hold back and she can't hold her feelings in. And she said, "Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse." Oh, Lisa, I've yet to see it be a blessing. And then we get to Garcelle, and she's Sagittarius with a Taurus moon, and she loves having fun, and she's very clear on what's right and what's wrong. Woo, yeah, that's me, baby. Don't get me wrong. and Dorit's sun sign is a Cancer with a Pisces moon. If you get upset, it's very difficult to reel you back in, and Dorit just wants to feel loved. And so guys, on my last review, I was telling you I couldn't understand why she sounded off at Sutton and why she lied about her and made out she said, I'm going to freak the fuck out. And I finally clicked it. At Denise's dinner, Dorit was in the middle of speaking and Sutton wanted to say something. And Dorit continued to speak and somebody said to Sutton, just make yourself heard. So Sutton went, be quiet. Dorit, shut up now, be quiet. And then she said, which was a very good point. What was her point again? Oh, that was it. She said, Kyle was upset with you, Dorit, because you said, I have a life. And Kyle took that to mean that she doesn't have a life and she doesn't have anything to do. And that's why Kyle kept going on and on about Dorit getting into glam and Dorit being late. But you can see the look on Dorit's face. She did not like being closed down by new girl Sutton. And I think she held that and thought, when I have chance to F you over, I will. Let me know in comments down below actually if you agree that that was the reason. Next up was Teddi. Boring as ever, she's Cancer for Sun and Cancer for Moon, and that means that she gravitates usually within a group to just one person. And that person is usually an earth sign, and Garcelle said, what's Kyle? You guessed it, an earth sign. And Kyle says, well, that explains everything then. Dorit says, Kyle should just admit that she's closer to Teddi. Well, you guys did go to couples therapy together. And Kyle said, guys, have you lost your minds? And Teddi said, we did not go to therapy together. We just did breathing exercises. And Lisa said, we all thought you had. And Dorit just said, enough of the melodramatic denials. We know that you did. And then Bravo do the dirty on Dorit because they prove pretty much that it's true. And they're both sitting there with a therapist. But they are doing breathing exercises. But it's hard to imagine that they just got in there and breathed for an hour. They must have spoken. And if you're speaking, I guess that's a form of therapy. And Sean said, Dorit, what is it you need from Kyle? All I need is for Kyle to admit that there's one standard for Teddi and another for everybody else. And then we went back to the argument of yesterday between Dorit and Sutton. And Dorit said, I haven't got to you yet. And Sutton said to Dorit in no uncertain terms, nope, I'm not having any of this. You need to be quiet. And guys, they started shouting at each other really loud. And Sutton said, I didn't deserve that. And Dorit said, we're not girlfriends yet. And Erika had to say, guys, just calm this down, you're in my home. And that's a very interesting defence from Dorit. I'm allowed to tell any lies because we're not yet friends. Where's the logic in that? And then both Sutton and Garcelle tell the other girls, nobody seems to want to get to know us. And Garcelle said, Kyle, your surface, you glaze right over me all the time. And then Kyle said, you're gorgeous, outspoken, and I adore you. And Dorit said, well then why do you glaze over her? And Kyle reverted to type again and said, shut up, you asshole. And Erika's finally had enough. And she said, let me walk you to the door. To no one in particular, but whoever wanted to leave, wanted to leave. And true to form, Kyle didn't even notice Denise and Garcelle leaving the property. And Erika tries to say to Kyle, you and Teddi are a package deal. It is kind of a weird relationship. And Dorit said to Kyle, if we don't all agree with you all the time, you start going mad and you start swearing. And Kyle said, F off, F you all. And she started crying yet again. And then Kyle said to Erika, the relationship's strange to you because you don't have any good friends. And Erika was properly pissed off with this. I do have good friends and I consider you to be one of them. And we cut to the taxi and there's Garcelle, Denise and Lisa and they're slating Kyle. And they're saying she always ignores us, she's very surface, she glazes over us. And Denise said, she's just so rude. Lisa was taking it all in. And I'm going to give Lisa Rinna 10 seconds to call Kyle when she arrives home and download the full conversation. And finally Garcelle said, and what Kyle was wearing tonight was hideous. Are we catty? Yes we are, but she deserves it. And that's everything for this week, so guys, let me know what you think. Why is it that none of these ladies seem to understand the simple fact that Denise is one way in front of her friends and another way in front of her children? And also, do you think that if Portia, Kyle's youngest, was there, that she would accept that kind of conversation in her presence? I certainly don't think she would. But guys, thank you so much for listening. I'll be back with another review very soon. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to press that red subscribe button. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Thank you for letting me get it all off my chest. Ciao for now.